The date, June 29th, 2025. A seemingly ordinary day, marked on calendars and printed in newspapers, ticking away on digital clocks, unaware of the darkness it would soon hold. Little did anyone know this particular Sunday would be etched in the memory of a community forever, not for celebration, but for sorrow. It began as a peaceful Sunday in Coeurd'alene, Idaho. The city was bathed in the gentle morning light, its residential streets quiet, reflecting the serenity of a typical weekend. The lake shimmered, a mirror to the clear blue sky, promising a day of relaxation and leisure. The air was crisp, carrying the scent of pine from the surrounding mountains. But this tranquility was soon shattered by a calculated act of violence, a disruption so profound it would shake the very foundations of this close-knit community. The peace was broken, replaced by the jarring sounds of sirens and the flashing lights of emergency vehicles. A wildfire, deliberately set on Canfield Mountain, its smoke plume a dark stain against the azure sky, signaled the beginning of the nightmare. The flames, intentionally ignited, began to consume the dry brush, an act of arson that would have devastating consequences. This blaze was not merely an act of destruction, it was a carefully orchestrated trap, designed to lure first responders into a deadly ambush. Unsuspecting, brave men and women raced towards the danger, unaware of the peril that awaited them. The city, known for its natural beauty, a jewel nestled in the heart of the Idaho Panhandle, a place where outdoor recreation and community spirit thrived, was about to experience a darkness it had never known. That day, Coeurd'alene was rocked by gunfire targeting its own protectors, the very individuals who dedicated their lives to safeguarding the community. The sound of shots echoed through the streets, shattering the illusion of safety and security. 2 firefighters lost their lives in the line of duty, their sacrifice a testament to their unwavering commitment. Their names would forever be etched in the city's history, a reminder of the ultimate price paid. A third was critically wounded, fighting for his life in a hospital bed, his fate hanging in the balance. The community held its breath, praying for his recovery, and the suspect was found dead, the investigation shrouded in mystery, leaving unanswered questions and a lingering sense of unease. The motive remained unclear, adding to the confusion and grief. The tragic events left the community in shock and mourning, grappling with the senseless loss and the violation of their peaceful haven. Grief permeated the air, as neighbors comforted neighbors, and makeshift memorials sprung up throughout the city. The attack was a direct assault on the trust, the unspoken bond that held the community together, the faith in the safety and security of their homes and streets. It was an assault on the relationship between residents and their first responders, the everyday heroes who risked their lives to protect them. The sense of security had been irrevocably damaged. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the landscape, the full scope of the tragedy became clear. The extent of the loss, the depth of the pain, and the uncertainty of the future. A day that began in tranquility, with the promise of sunshine and relaxation, ended in heartbreak, leaving a community shattered and searching for answers. The contrast between the morning's peace and the evening's despair was stark and unsettling. Coeurd'alene would never be the same. The scars of that day would run deep, a permanent reminder of the fragility of peace and the enduring strength of community in the face of tragedy. The call came in like so many before, a brush fire on Canfield Mountain. Firefighters from Coeurd'alene and Kootenai County responded, expecting a routine challenge. They arrived, focused on containing the blaze, unaware of the danger lurking nearby. 30 minutes into their efforts, gunfire erupted from a concealed position. The scene turned from firefighting to survival as responders were pinned down by sniper fire. Chaos and confusion reigned. The mission shifted to rescuing the wounded and escaping the kill zone. The attack was swift, leaving little time to react. What began as a routine call became one of Idaho's darkest days. Investigators quickly determined the wildfire was no accident. It was bait. The suspect set the fire to draw first responders into a trap, turning a call for help into a deadly ambush. The attack was meticulously planned, exploiting the responders' duty to serve. Evidence showed the shooter waited until firefighters were fully engaged before opening fire with a high-powered rifle. This calculated act forced emergency agencies nationwide to reconsider their protocols. The fire was not just a disaster. It was a weapon. The trust and safety first responders rely on had been deeply violated. The first shots rang out, echoing through the serene mountain air. A sudden, sharp disruption to the peace that Canfield Mountain was known for. No one could have predicted the chaos that was about to unfold, a nightmare scenario that would test the limits of courage and resilience, transformed Canfield Mountain into a war zone. The idyllic landscape, once a haven for hikers and nature lovers, was now engulfed in flames and fear. The scent of pine and wildflowers was replaced by the acrid smell of smoke, a grim reminder of the destruction that was rapidly spreading. Firefighters scrambled for cover, their faces grim as they assessed the situation. The relentless gunfire and the encroaching flames created a deadly combination, forcing them to make split-second decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. Radios crackled with desperate calls for help, each transmission a plea for assistance in the face of overwhelming odds. The airwaves were filled with urgent requests for backup, medical support, and guidance through the treacherous terrain. Law enforcement faced a dual crisis, a situation spiraling out of control with each passing moment. They were caught between the immediate threat of a shooter and the rapidly escalating danger of a wildfire, an active shooter whose motives remained unknown, but whose actions were causing unimaginable devastation. Every officer knew that neutralizing this threat was paramount to saving lives, and an uncontrolled wildfire, fueled by dry vegetation and strong winds, threatened to consume everything in its path. The inferno raged with an insatiable hunger, casting an eerie glow across the landscape. 3 firefighters were hit, caught in the crossfire while battling the blaze. The sound of gunfire mixed with their cries for help, a chilling reminder of the dangers they faced. Their colleagues risked their lives to pull them to safety, braving the flames and the gunfire to reach their fallen comrades. The bonds of brotherhood and the unwavering commitment to duty drove them forward. The wounded were rushed to the hospital, sirens wailing as ambulances sped down the mountain roads, racing against time to get them the medical attention they desperately needed, under threat of more gunfire. The possibility of another attack loomed large, adding to the already intense pressure on the emergency responders. 2 firefighters died from their injuries, succumbing to the wounds they sustained while protecting their community. Their sacrifice would not be forgotten, devastating their departments and the community. Grief washed over the town as residents mourned the loss of these brave heroes, their hearts heavy with sorrow and disbelief. The third clung to life in critical condition, his fate hanging in the balance as doctors and nurses worked tirelessly to save him. The fire raged on, a relentless force of nature that seemed determined to leave nothing but ashes in its wake. Now a backdrop to human tragedy, a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the destructive power of both nature and human malice. The mountain, once a place of recreation, a sanctuary for those seeking solace in nature's beauty, had become a battlefield, a scene of unimaginable horror and loss. The community could only wait and hope for the violence to end, praying for a miracle that would bring peace back to their beloved mountain and heal the wounds that had been inflicted. The ambush triggered an unprecedented law enforcement response. Over 300 officers from multiple agencies converged, establishing a perimeter and searching for the shooter. Helicopters with sniper teams scanned the rugged terrain, while the FBI joined the investigation. Residents near Canfield Mountain were ordered to shelter in place as officers cleared the area. A no-fly zone was established to protect aerial operations. The coordinated response was a testament to the solidarity and resolve of first responders. Their swift action prevented further loss of life amid chaos and danger. After hours of tension, tactical teams located the suspect's body near a high-powered rifle. The immediate threat was over, but questions remained about the shooter's motives and final moments. The shelter-in-place order was lifted, but fear lingered. The wildfire, left unchecked during the standoff, continued to burn, complicating recovery efforts. Investigators began the painstaking process of collecting evidence and securing the scene. The community's ordeal was far from over. Grief and uncertainty took hold. The tragedy marked the start of a long journey toward healing and understanding. The loss of 2 firefighters devastated their families, colleagues, and the entire city. A solemn procession honored the fallen, with emergency vehicles and first responders lining the route in silent tribute. The community mourned together, recognizing the ultimate sacrifice made in the line of duty. Amid sorrow, hope remained for the 3rd firefighter, who survived after emergency surgery. Idaho's governor and local officials condemned the attack and called for unity and support. The tragedy underscored the daily risks first responders face. The city's gratitude and grief were on full display. The human cost was immeasurable, leaving a void that will not soon be filled. The ambush sent shockwaves through coeurd'alene, a place often celebrated for its serene beauty and tight-knit community. The news spread rapidly, carried on the winds of disbelief and horror. It was a moment that would forever be etched in the town's collective memory, a stark reminder of the fragility of peace, a city known for its safety and community spirit. Coeurd'alene, nestled in the heart of Idaho, had always prided itself on being a haven, a place where neighbors looked out for each other and children played freely in the streets. This reputation, carefully cultivated over generations, was now threatened by an act of senseless violence. Residents struggled to process the violence, the sheer audacity of the attack leaving them reeling. Questions swirled, anxieties mounted, and the once unshakable sense of security began to crumble. The idyllic image of coeurd'alene was now marred by the harsh reality of human cruelty, especially as first responders are friends and neighbors. In a town like coeurd'alene, the lines between professional duty and personal connection were often blurred. The firefighters, the paramedics, the police officers, they were not just public servants. They were members of the community, Little League coaches, volunteers at the local food bank, the people you waved to at the grocery store. The loss felt deeply personal, each casualty a blow to the heart of the community. It wasn't just the loss of life, but the loss of innocence, the shattering of a shared belief in the inherent goodness of their town, amplifying the community's grief and fear. The attack served as a stark reminder of the darkness that could lurk even in the most idyllic settings, leaving residents grappling with a newfound sense of vulnerability. The ripple effects of the tragedy extended far beyond the immediate victims, touching every corner of coeurd'alene. Fire departments, like families, are forged in the crucible of shared experience, bound together by a common purpose and an unwavering commitment to protect their community, were left reeling from the loss and injury of their own. The bonds of brotherhood, usually a source of strength and resilience, were now strained by the weight of grief and the pain of loss. The fire station, once a symbol of safety and security, became a place of mourning. The deliberate nature of the attack shattered the sense of security, the calculated malice behind the ambush sending chills down the spines of even the most seasoned law enforcement officers, turning a beloved mountain into a crime scene. The once pristine landscape, a source of recreation and solace for so many, was now tainted by the grim reality of the investigation. Yet, in the face of tragedy, the community rallied, a testament to the enduring spirit of coeurd'alene. Memorials, fundraisers, and messages of support sprung up organically, a collective expression of grief, solidarity, and unwavering resolve, appeared across the city. These spontaneous displays of compassion served as a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit could shine brightly. Acts of solidarity offered hope and comfort, a balm for the wounded hearts of a grieving community, amid the sorrow. The shared experience of grief, while painful, also served to strengthen the bonds between neighbors, fostering a sense of unity and purpose. Coeurd'alene began the slow process of healing, a journey marked by both pain and resilience. United in support of its heroes, the community vowed to never forget the sacrifices made by its first responders, honoring their memory through acts of service and unwavering dedication to the values they represented. With the immediate threat gone, investigators began the complex task of uncovering the suspect's identity and motive. The crime scene was vast, the investigation meticulous, and answers would take time. Law enforcement and fire agencies reviewed their response, seeking lessons to better protect first responders in the future. The community faced a long road to recovery, supporting victims' families and the injured firefighter. Mental health resources were mobilized for those affected by the trauma. Public memorials and services honored the fallen, reinforcing the city's gratitude and resilience. The legacy of the firefighters lost on Canfield Mountain would endure in the community they gave everything to protect.